Good morning. So this is the first of what I hope will be a series of bite-sized videos on all things IP. And today we're going to be looking at trade secrets. I'll be asking the questions and John will be adding the value by walking us through the answers. By way of background, my name is David Bloom. I was an IP litigator for 15 years and I'm now a director at Safeguard IP. We're the UK's only dedicated IP insurance broker. John, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, thanks very much, David. So John Pryor. I come at intellectual property from the commercial background. I've been in business all my life and I've been in intellectual property for the last 20 years. So I'm not a lawyer, but what I seek to do is to provide commercially sensitive, commercially valuable, I should say, intellectual property advice. And my business is Exalt IP. Thank you, David.
Good stuff. So when I say bite size, we're going to try and keep this to under 10 minutes. It's a big subject, so we'll be as brief as we can be. And what we'll do at the end is give you some take homes, some valuable lessons about trade secrets that you need to know. So John, do you want to start with just briefly explaining what trade secrets are and how you protect them?
Yeah, trade secrets pervade every single business in the world, in my view. So even the smallest all the way up to the largest. Trade secrets are such things as the Coca-Cola recipe, WD-40 recipe, and the Google algorithm even. So what differentiates them from know-how in your business is that they've been captured and codified as a trade secret. And that's really the only thing you need to do to protect it as a trade secret. A trade secret can be something technical. It can be an invention, pre-patent, or even instead of a patent. But it can also be something as simple as your customer list, their contact details. Can be pricing, but it can be a whole host of other things as well. David?
I was just going to say, how does a business keep information like that secret? What's the process they have to go through?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things that need to happen in order for it to qualify as a trade secret. So number one, it needs to be a secret, and that's key. That's not easy to manage. So that means education, it means contracts, and it means sort of full management of the trade secrets. Secondarily, it must have some commercial value, and it can be, and there must be some reasonable measures taken to protect it as a secret. So that's sort of the legal aspects of trade secrets, David.
Okay, so a lot of my clients are very innovative. They're creating new products, and they balk at the cost of patenting. It's obviously a very expensive process and quite a long one. And there's this kind of challenge between whether to keep something as a trade secret and protect it that way, or going down the patenting route. What would be your advice to them?
Well, it's a multi-factored answer. Firstly, if the client's invention can be invented around, i.e. somebody else skilled in the art down the road who's got nothing at all to do with your business and never come across any information from it in this country or another country can invent the same thing, then you're much better off patenting it, because if you're the first to get the patent, then you own the rights to that. So I think in most cases a patent is going to be valuable, but of course it depends on the budget. And of course, before something becomes a patent, it should be retained as a trade secret, because otherwise that's no longer patentable, because it's been published in essence. So yes, trade secrets and patents are close bedfellows. So the invention before you decide to patent should be kept as a trade secret. And arguably also, you could patent something, but you could retain some aspects as trade secrets as well. And so the cake baking analogy, if Mary Berry were to bake a cake with the same recipe and ingredients as it would be a much better cake. Because she's bringing certain know-how, certain trade secrets, maybe a bit of secret sauce to that cake baking process, and that actually makes such a difference. And so, yes, simplistically, your invention, when you come out with it, you keep it as a trade secret. You must qualify it with the criteria we can talk about. It may well become a patent, and that might be just a patent, or it might be a patent and a trade secret as well.
Right. So I think in essence, you need to get some expert advice before deciding which route to go down. So it sounds like a blend is probably.
I think so. I think trade secrets are, I think they're in every single business, and I think they're one of the most important intellectual property rights. But the issue is not many people know about them. The good news is, or the interesting thing is, that that trade secrets are gaining in prominence legislatively. All governments have revised their trade secrets policy once or twice in the last 5 years, and the courts are increasingly recognizing and enforcing trade secrets. So it's a much better environment now than it was 7 years ago, say.
Okay, so we've established that they're probably a cheaper route to go down than patenting. They have value. I presume they can be sold and licensed as patents can. What kind of risks exist with regards to trade secrets? Because by their very nature, not many people know about them. So how are they stolen, disseminated? When you talk to clients about trade secrets, what risks do you talk about?
Well, the most significant risk, David, is keeping it a secret. And it can be cheaper, but if that secret leaks, it can, on the other hand, it can be very expensive as well. So having the right systems, structures, contractual setup in place is so important. And if you don't keep it a secret,
and the next third parties, both internally and externally.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think you're looking at, can they be stolen? So yeah, they can be hacked in. Somebody can hack into your system and steal your trade secrets. And major corporations around the world have had blueprints of new engines, devices stolen, whether they know it or not, because they've been hacked to. So there's one side of things. There's more of a technical side of things. But if you have a trade secrets policy, it does help to some extent in that regard. But then your next biggest threat is actually your employees, your partners, and possibly people you revealed certain information to, like investors. And having some contractual stipulations with all of those is really important, primarily employees, because if an employee leaves, takes a memory stick and walks down the road to your competitor or goes and sets up in competition, then you want to have some recourse. And a trade secrets program will give you that recourse.
Good. Okay, so to wrap up, if you're an SME and you haven't really thought about trade secrets before, what would be your advice today?
Think about what it is in your business that brings you competitive advantage. It's an exercise that you may or may not have done before. It may involve one or two people. It may involve a bit of effort, but believe you me, it's probably one of the most important exercises you could undertake in the near future. And having done that, there will be some stuff that you identify that you want to retain as secrets. And having identified those, that you can then put together a program either independently or with some external advice to do just that, and start to protect them accordingly.
Does it matter if you're only starting that process today with regards to secrets that have been in existence for some time? Can you do it? Can you protect it retrospectively? Is what I'm asking.
If you can prove that you had that trade secret at a point in time, then you can do it retrospectively. If you don't have that proof, you're going to struggle. And that's the problem. So the sooner you undertake this exercise, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
Great, good. I hope you enjoyed that. That's been a very quick fly through all things trade secrets. Obviously, you may well have some questions, and if that's the case, don't hesitate to get in touch with John. He'll be happy to answer them. And we'll be back next week with another bite-sized video looking at how IP improves value at your company. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks very much, everybody. Cheers.